Alright guys, JC here. I did plan on getting this video up a lot earlier. Um, Apologies, been very busy. So yeah, just basically decided to, make some very simple videos covering, the fundamentals of Hardpoint. Just to help out those of you that are looking to get into, comp through, league play, game battles, things like that. I'm not going to do the maps in any specific order. Start with Gridlock. If you got any requests, just let me know, and I'll get on with it. Before I get going, I'm just gonna say, the info I'll give you in this video, use it as a guideline. Don't expect to, win every single hardpoint just because of this video. It's unrealistic. Like I said, guideline. These are fundamentals. They will help, but don't look at 100% win rate. It's unrealistic. The things I can't really teach you, winning gunfights and communicating with your teammates. Those are things that you have to practice. So yeah, I plan on breaking the video up into going over setups for hills, and we'll look at spawns and rotating. Any other information, I'll just chuck in when it makes most sense. Don't expect this video to be amazing. This is the first one I've done in a long time. I've not made a video since IW, so go easy on me. Yeah, so we'll get into it. So on the majority of maps, the first hill is in the center of the map. The problem with this is both teams more or less get to the hill at the same time. So you're just contesting the hill time. You're trading kills. It's just a bit of a mess, really. So what I suggest you do is focus on spawns. So that would be your primary objective. You should be focusing on spawns. And what I do is, if you can, get a player or two to try contest the hill time and get a few kills. So before we look at any sort of setup for this hill, we currently have the good side. Now this is important because if we can set up, win gunfights, get a little hill time, and keep this side spawn, it means rotating is so much easier, it's so much more efficient, that we can just run around here, and set up for the second hill. Whereas if we've got the bad side spawn, and we're just hitting the hill, just trading the kills, we're just going to continue spawning out. So if you've got the bad spawn, you want to try get around here, and take control of these spawns. So that might be a little bit confusing. So what we'll do is we'll look at setting up So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at setting up for the first hill. So what most people do is saying their AR player up top here. What you could do is have somebody hop up on the block here and just jump and peek over. You can see over by the blue truck there, you'll be able to count heads run into the hill. So if you are communicating, you can let your teammates know. One or two people hitting the hill, nice and easy. If you're not communicating, I wouldn't worry about it too much. It might be good to check it just for peace of mind, you know how many people are in the hill. So what you're going to focus on here is looking straight across the top broken here. You'll tend to find somebody's there, also using, for example, an ICR. So you're going to be playing about with that gunfight. If you get the kill, brilliant. Don't over challenge it if you don't need to. it's not worth, dying to it. I'd also watch, so as I mentioned, there's that blue truck. People like to hop up on that, and shoot straight across. So, just keep an eye on that too. And of course, the left hand side of the hill here. Just to look over the lane, look over the hill, give the players in the hill a chance to, stay alive and possibly get some of the hill time. I'll note that you may occasionally need to check the hole in the wall here. Some people do call this broken as well. Whatever you call it, doesn't matter too much as long as you understand. There's a chance that somebody's going to flank through showers and you might need to kill them there. So for those hitting the hill, tends to be your sub players. Maddox is fine. What I suggest doing is there's an opening here. Anybody on the other side will be pre-aiming this. Slide it. Pre-aim this head glitch here. If you need to shoot, it's fine. It's hardpoint. Don't be too scared to let a few bullets go. The chances are you'll probably hit somebody as well. Now when you're playing hill, don't overstep this. We've got top broken there. If there's an AR player there, they'll probably pick you off if the other players in hill don't get to you first. Throw a few shoulders, get a few bullets in, but most of all, just let them come to you. Too many people play too aggressive. I mean, if it works, it looks good. If it doesn't, it's just sloppy, and it's just unnecessary. So take your time. If you can get a pick, brilliant. Just play your life though. You could also sit and watch the left hand side here. Bait somebody out. Overstep. That would be really quick though. I wouldn't ever really take too long over here. You can sit back here, just to make sure the top broken can't get a few shots on you. But just be careful again, you're just playing your life. So something else you should do is have a player come sit in a dojo, or this area here is what most people call mirrors. You'll find that somebody will push through here just to catch you off, flank, hit you in the side, get around behind you, possibly looking to take control of the better side spawns. So what I suggest doing is just having somebody, sit in a corner here, or just there's plenty of corners in here. You don't have to sit in that one corner. Try to be a bit unpredictable. Hold different angles. Just catch somebody off, nice and easy. This could be like a Maddox player. It doesn't even matter what gun they're using really. If they just sit back a wee bit. People like to be unpredictable in this game, and use movement to the advantage. So just things like hopping up onto the truck in the middle of the hill here. You sit back. Wait for them to do that. Pre-aim the head glitch from this car. Same in the left one there. Keep on your feet. Just help out where you need to. I'd also suggest watching the flank on this side as well. People tend to like coming through here past Sushi. So play it how you want to. You don't have to go to mid first. You could always just come straight here. Different teams have different strategies, so just do whatever's best for you. If you notice somebody's not watching something, just pick it up. You're benefiting the team in some way. So yep, I'd always check this flank as well. If you got an AR, no harm in sitting on his head here, just applying the pressure. What I tend to do as a sub player, is just jiggle, and that was a terrible example of jiggling, by the way. I'm far too tired for this. But just throw a few shoulders. Just play the time. If nobody's coming, you can just hit back towards mid, or just help out wherever it's needed. So in Hardpoint, you need to think a step ahead. So I mentioned, having a player in dojo, checking that flank, and maybe out by Sushi in the second hill, watching that flank. The reason people would flank is to try to get behind you, take control of this side spawns, because this is the better side of spawns going into the second hill. If you've got control of this side spawns going into the second hill, it makes your rotation so much easier. if you've got control of this side, your whole team, second hill's popping, you know, the second hill is just right here. Nice and easy. If you're spawning out, then you've got to fight your way towards the hill. You know, you got to then make the decision of hitting certain lanes, and that's when it gets a bit more difficult. So if you get the side spawn at the start of the game, don't worry about it too much. You've got, you've got a whole 60 seconds to, look at getting the better spawns. So what we'll do is we'll quickly run over, a few setups, things you might want to do if you get this spawn. Okay, so for your AR player, as we mentioned before, going top broken is a very common spot. Just make sure you're winning your gunfights. Don't challenge them if you don't need to. You've got right and left you can watch from here for the hill. So if you've got players in the hill, if they want to step back, you've got cover of that too. As you can see, there's the wall to my right. That's that's covering me from the right of that hill. It's the same, you just gotta play smart. It's very simple. Another spot would be up on top of this blue truck. A lot of people call this blue. This gives you a cleaner line of sight straight across to the head glitch across there. Okay, so might be wrong, but I do believe you get up on it here faster than you would top broken. So just getting up here, pre-aim. As soon as you see something, getting the bullets in, putting the pressure on the other guy, he's not going to be able to shoot back. Just like before on the other side, playing the hill is exactly the same. What I would say, for if you've got this, the worst side spawns here, is kind of just creating more time for anybody on your team that may be flanking. Once the players on the flank, maybe get a kill or two, that's maybe when you can start being a bit more aggressive. If they get a kill or two, you can look at, trying to pick up a third or fourth, and at that point, you can maybe, get a bit more aggressive and, push through, make sure you got control of the site. Try to flip the spawns that way. Just make sure to turn around because your enemy team might then start spawning behind you. I'll point out there's a small head glitch here, you can watch the right hand side from here if anybody wants to overstep it. Nice and easy. And again the head glitch on this. So of course with the bad side spawns you're going to be looking at getting control of the better side spawns going into P2 or the second hill. So the most common route people like to take is just going through showers, dojo. As I said before, of course you just need to be careful that you're checking your corners, making sure there's nobody here. If there is, try to get the kill. If you get a kill, take your time. There might be somebody there for the trade. Play smart. Now, depending on what you'd like to do, some teams like to send two people on the flank, just for the support. For example, if I do come through here with somebody else and I get killed, my teammates are to trade it. If you both manage to get through, what you could do is have somebody playing, just bit in here, it's the hole in the wall, picking up a kill, jiggling for the guy up top. This is a bit more in depth than, I intended on going. But these are things you can do. Just kind of piss off the enemy. If you can get a kill, that's fine. Just back off, take your time. They might start watching this. Just create some time for that second player coming right on the back here. What I suggest doing is come up top, and if the ICR player's still here, killing him. Okay, once you got the kill, it's backing off and just starting to become a nuisance in the back here. As soon as you get a good few kills, anybody mid can push over as well. Now, the route I tend to take is going down the left here and heading through sushi. For some reason, people don't check this nearly as much. You may occasionally encounter somebody come through sushi here. It might just be the case of winning the gunfight, If you want to play a bit slower, that's totally fine. Slower would be safer. Of course, Give your team time to do what they need to do. You try this route. Don't begin to play it your own way. Just make sure if you do get a kill that some attention is going to be drawn towards you. Be ready again for trades or somebody watching the back. Now what I noticed is sometimes when you come through here, you'll see somebody on the head glitch just outside the hole in the wall. I mentioned before the head glitch on the car looking over the right. A lot of people do like to actually go on this head glitch here on that block. I don't suggest killing them. If you know there's somebody up top, I would get around the back. I'd check this first. It's better to check there's somebody in the back. There's no point in killing the guy on the block and then you end up getting shot in the back, because you've basically just wasted that time and that opportunity to start flipping those spawns. So once you're up here, if you've got the ICR player, kill him. You can get another kill, that's totally fine. But again, just like before, we're just getting back in here, getting around the back, and just being a nuisance. Nice and easy. So, with good side spawns, we could always do with your AR player. Just bang on 18, you can just watch, gold on the left, the milkhead glitches, top window, somebody might go on the right here. Nice and simple. Yeah, you could also have, player on this heady here. Again, watching the same things. You can see right through into the building there, so if they're coming through there. But again, like any ICR, you're going to do some damage. Watching the right as well. What some people actually like to do is back up to this car. If you want to sit on it, that's fine. Look through the windows. That's fine. Nice line of sight. It's going to make it harder for them to shoot you. Also having a player in sushi here, there's not a lot for this player to do. If your enemy team start to make a breakthrough, you're going to be here to just be a bit of a pain. They think they're getting through. Nope. Player in sushi is going to pick them off, just creating that barricade. You can also have somebody sitting here in boxes, just watching anybody coming up from mid. This is one of those spots you can just take your time, check it occasionally. It's easy enough to just let them come to you. You're pretty much guaranteed a free kill. If two men hit it, you might get traded, but at least you get that first kill. You might also want to have somebody in the back. Just watching, if anybody comes through, takes a long flank round through showers. It's a common thing for people to do. And of course, there's the back bit here too. So don't be shocked if somebody starts shooting you in the back. There's plenty of things, plenty of like vehicles and stuff they can sneak around. If somebody doesn't catch them, then especially in league play, half the players don't have eyes. So yeah, just be careful, guys. You need to kind of think about these things. If you notice that your teammate's not sitting in the back, if these setups, because these are very basic setups, you'll see a lot of people use. If you're losing gunfights and you're not communicating, that's gonna hurt your team a lot. So try to win your gunfights. Take any chance you can to communicate. I can't reinforce that anymore. It's if you want to win, you want to win. Those are things you're gonna have to do to win. So if you're unfortunate enough to end up with a bad side spawns going into the second hill, your job's going to get a wee bit harder. So as I mentioned before, flanking tends to be the best way to go about it. The more people you send on the flank, the safer, the easier it's going to be for you to get round into those spawns, get the kills, flip the spawns, and it snowballs from there really. But what you could do, just send in an AR player, up top window, creating a bit of a distraction, taking his time, pinging heads. Doesn't have to be up top window here. It can be on the head glitch. You got several head glitches here you can work with. Piece of cake. There's also a corner here. Now you might get trapped in this corner if you jump across. It's not ideal, but you do get a great line of sight straight into sushi. So if you do have an ICR, Maddox might be brilliant in this situation too. If it's just a SOG player that's sitting in there, you're probably gonna win the gunfight. Nice and simple. Now, while you have an ICR player, say up top window, you can have, your Maddox or SOG, just waiting for the opportunity to push through. But keep in mind, it's going to be very difficult. You need to be, have that AR pressure. That sub player needs to play, smart. But most of all, if you're going to go with this, just make sure you're buying time for your teammates that are on the flank. I would suggest if you really, really need to hit this, but I would highly suggest sending 3 people through showers or something. It may take more time to hit that flank, but it's a safer bet. If you can get 3 guys in the back, they're going to be picking people off anyway. They'll get a few kills around the back. If your ICR player is good enough, I'm sure you could probably get a kill from this top window. As soon as his players are around the back, you can start to push up. And look, boom, you've got control of the hill. You flip the spawns. So for hitting this flank, it's exactly the same as the first hill. You'll probably just have a few more players with you. Just make sure you're playing for the trades. If there's anybody watching this, it's unlikely you'll find somebody this early on in the rotation. It was probably near the back here. I started just checking my corners. People can play very unpredictably. Sneaking about. You get the gist. Like I said, if you got an ICR player that's still sitting top window, that granny's building, they might be able to get a kill or 2. You can just brute force your way in the back here, get the kills, and hopefully get that spawn flip. Just make sure that once you've done that, you're frequently keeping an eye on the back, if not having a player in the back. Because, like I said before, there's plenty of vehicles that people can move in and out, get into boxes. It's easy enough to retake this if your team isn't, properly set up. So it's not been super necessary to mention yet, but if the enemy team aren't, successful in hitting the second hill, they're probably going to start looking at rotating quite early on, just to make sure that they've got control of the third hill by the time it pops. So around about somewhere between the 30 and 20-second mark left on the hill time, you might want to start looking at the rotation, just to make it a bit harder for the enemy team to set up, and if you play it well enough, completely stop them, keep them spawning out, and it just buys your team more time to start to move over. So most common way of doing this is just going through mid, hole in the wall, and getting straight here. Okay. What you can also do is just go back through your spawn and then come through the back here. There's a good chance that the enemy team have got through. They're starting to sit in corners. They're waiting on you, rotating. So if you go around the back, then you can check them corners too. Just make sure when you're coming to the new hill, you're checking corners. That you'll most likely find that there'll be people on headies here, try to put pressure on you, keep you back. So again, it's just a case of, playing it smart. Another route you could probably take, is just going through bottom grannies here. Just be careful. You might notice there's a few of the enemy team still spawning up, looking at the rotation. So just take your time. I wouldn't suggest hitting the side door here. It's not rare for somebody to hit the back here. There's a good chance that there's somebody waiting for you. So if you can, just sneak around the back. They won't be expecting this because this is the door they'll probably use to come in. You'll catch somebody sitting in corners maybe in this room. I can get behind them, getting a few kills. So, once you had a successful hold on the second hill, you might not start to notice that the enemy team aren't hitting anymore. There's a good chance they'll start just looking at the rotation. If they set up for new before you, then it'll be easier for them to keep a hold of that hill. So what I suggest doing is around the 30 to 20 second mark, I'd look at rotating. The most common route is just going through mid, hole in the wall. If you really are going to hit this side, just be careful, check your corners. I'd even suggest going all the way around the back. Keep in mind that once you get here, it's going to be difficult to get control of the hill. If you haven't been killed by somebody sitting in a corner, you most likely find there's somebody sitting over on the shower's head just there. They're watching straight across towards here, and there'll be somebody in this corner here as well. So ultimately, what I suggest doing from the second hill is just pushing right through here. 2 or 3. Let your teammates get the scrap hill time. Just get the back control here, because this is going to be the better side spawns going into P4. So the sooner you get control of this, the better. If you can get a few kills, start to get control of this side, get the kills, then they'll spawn out, and then it'll be easier for you to just set up, pick up the lines of sight and hold the hill. The big thing with this hill being that because it's bang in the centre of the lane, the more weight you have on one side of the hill as a team basically just influences your spawn. So if my team are on this side of the hill, if we die, there's a good chance we'll just continue spawning out that way. If we're on this side of the hill, and we die, we'll spawn it that way. So it's just the way it is, really. You should really prioritize your spawns. Once you've got that down, you're gonna be way more successful again that hill time. I know that's just the most basic way of looking at it. You'll find that different teams have different strategies, and that's fine. But we're going with the total fundamentals here, the absolute basics. So spawns basically equal your hill time, you know, along with obviously getting kills and things, as you know. I recommend some sort of mid control as well, you know, especially near the time of rotating. I'd have somebody, you know, that's got to check you're not over pushing it. You don't want to lose the spawns, but just some sort of mid control is great. So going out of P4, it might be ideal to, you know, have somebody staying around these you know, these doorways from P3, just making sure, you know, there's no last, you know, no extra person, you know, managing to break through, get around the back. This back right hand side tends to be the most vulnerable spot. It's probably the easiest one to get through. So just make sure you got somebody sitting in the back here, you know, just watching and waiting. Of course, having somebody watching your mid. Now, it can be a bit overwhelming if 2 or 3 people are hitting mid, you know, with your 1 AR player. If they start to team shoot you, you know, things get a bit tricky. So what might be good to have is just an extra person available, you know, come help you mid. Or even if there's, you know, an extra player in the hill, you know, coming through gold here. There's this head glitch here. You know, just soak out that hill time. If you want to do, you can have an AR player holding the street. Now, the problem is you won't too often see people hitting this unless it's, you know, rushed or, you know, panicked. If they're in desperate need to, you know, break the hill. Especially in League play, you know, people aren't very composed, so just start like hitting anything in the hope it works. So if you've got an AR up here, you know, might just be able to, you know, just keep people back. You know, you're gonna get some free kills. I mean, the only way that they're really gonna like manage this is if, you know, 3 to 5 man hitting this street. That's as stupid as it is, because it's easy enough to, you know, if you're communicating, you know, call for help. I mean, all it takes is for when your teammates are ready to hit the minimap, look at the minimap and to see that, you know, they're, you know, 4 or 5 man hitting this street. So your team can just move into position. You know, somebody can come out the bottom. You know, just pick up the heady. You know, it's an easy. Stay around this milk truck. You know, it's probably easiest one to hit from this side, especially if it's around, you know, the last 10 seconds of that P3 hill. You know, you could have somebody sneaking about, just waiting. You know, anybody that's in the hill is going to expect you to hit it while it's still live. So as soon as it dies down, you know, you can give them an extra few seconds. You know, you can sneak through the back here. Just making sure you're taking your time, checking your corners. You know, and then you can just take your time, sit in the back. Be a pain. It's easy as that, really. You know, if you want to have a couple extra people, that's totally fine. You know, they can just then disperse. You know, just cover the back and then looking again into the hill. Again, just be careful with this door. You know, somebody might be watching this. So if you cross the doorway here, they might see you. You'll get called out, and they'll know where you're hitting. It might just be in your best interest, you know. Just go all the way around this. So hitting mid can be tricky. I would suggest doing this with, you know, 3 people, 2-3 people. It's probably the best idea. You know, we're playing to bait, you know, the top AR player out. A few bullets in there. You've got somebody on the left here, and they can just do exactly the same. If you have a 3rd player, it's good to be unpredictable, you know, and just play with the movement. Open up on this this truck here. Now, although you are kind of in the open, if you just shoot straight across, if you don't get the guy weak, you know, or finish off the kill, you know, you're at least keeping him back. Hop down quickly if you need to. You know, you get a call and be like, oh well, guy top broken, you know, it's a team shot, and then you can, you know, looking at moving forward towards the hill. You know, it's quite a, you know, one of those brute force type of, you know, breaks, but if it's done right, it can work very well. So, last but not least, you know, hitting the street, like I said before, it's difficult and it's probably not the smartest thing to do, unless, you know, you've got a few guys on the flank. You can maybe sneak through this, or just send a few guys straight up it, but, you know, it's probably not ideal. Like I said, you'll see a lot of people just hit this and panic to get the break, or, you know, get a few points, maybe even the kills. If you want to play this, make sure you play it smart. You know, just holding stupid wee angles, you know, in the hope that you'll kill the guy that's up top if there's a guy there. You know, if there's not a guy on the right, there's most likely going to be a guy on one of these head glitches just waiting. Even still, I've seen it before, people just waiting in corners. You know, there will be something there. If not, then you're blessed. You know, you got really lucky. You know, and just, you know, you just take your free break basically. But as I said a good few times now, don't expect that to happen. You know, get an AR player. You know, you can even sit in the truck here, you know, and just play for that gunfight. But as soon as you do start shooting at them, like I said, they'll pick up that these are hitting the street, and it's far too easy for them to, you know, just hold that. You know, it's going to be hard to be successful. You could use it as a distraction for anybody on the flank if you wanted to. I mean, again, it's all situational. If you're communicating, that might be a play you might want to call. But yeah, if you do somehow manage to get through, yeah, just get through the back alley here, you know. Take your time, pick up a few people, give your teammates a chance to, you know, get close to the hill, you know, get in, get a few kills. No doubt I forgot something. As I mentioned, I'm shard. But, you know, I want to get this video out for you guys. I'm sure a few of you are wondering where it is. But yeah, you might notice there's not a lot of, you know, solo things you can do. You just got to try be a good teammate. You know, it's a team-based game mode. So, you know, just help it where you can. Getting kills and stuff only does so much. I mean, you can go like 60 and 10. But, you know, if you're not like, you know, if those kills aren't like, you know, trades, or, you know, you're not helping out around the hill, it's pointless, really. You know, if you're pushing spawns just for kills, you know, you might suffer like flipping spawns when you don't want to. You know, there's things you got to take into consideration. But all these sort of things, you know, you'll start to learn as you play the game a bit more. I hope that this video has covered some sort of, you know, I just hope you've, you know, got something out of it more than anything. You know, I'm not a professional, so anything I kind of covered here is the stuff that I've learned myself just playing the game. You know, it's quite hard to, you know, try to discuss how to play Hardpoint. A lot of the things are just situational decisions, you know. But knowing the fundamentals that I've just showed you there will definitely help, you know, without a doubt. You know, some things might not be completely accurate, you know. Call me out if they're not, you know. Any criticism is more than welcome, you know. Arms wide open. Because at the end of the day, you know, I can only improve on these things if I've got the knowledge of them. So, you know, if there's something amiss, let me know. It'd help me out. It'd help anybody else that watches this video out if they see the comment. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. I kind of want to, I plan on following these up with some gameplay. It's been a thought, and I think I might go ahead with it once, yeah, I've went through all the maps. It's just basic gameplay, me playing. I'll hop in Codcaster, theatre mode, and I'll just kind of cover like, my thought process. Just give you guys an idea of how bad I am as well. So, yeah, I've probably missed something. But please, if you've liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Any criticism, welcomed. Hopefully, I'll get a bit better at making these videos. I've not done this in a long time, so yeah, hopefully it only gets better. But thanks a lot. Peace out.